this was a solidly funny film. This was hilarious. I don't know if you laughed, and I don't know if you can, but you do not have a sense of humour.
Don't do that. I have a great sense of humour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Every movie I put up as a comedy, you just go, nah.
When Sarah Snook is running up, who she's playing Gertrude, is running up in that really horrible wedding dress to the hill, trying to get up before the guy sees her.
What was the name of the mum? Because she stole the show.
Molly.
Yes, what was her?
Judy Davis.
Judy Davis. She is superb. It's just my tablet playing up. She is superb.
Yes, she's in The Man Who Sued God.
Absolutely stole the show, and so cringing. And the role was so cringing. Look, I thought this was stunning. Do you know? I can't see that. My God, we better crack on to the second film.
So how many stars would you give this, Paul?
It's going to be an hour and a half, this one.
Don't. Well, then hurry up.
All right. All right, look. I want to give it a 10. I really do.
Are you serious?
I fucking loved it. I loved it. But I'm going to go 9.5 just because I was swept away with it, and sometimes I get a little overcarried. No, it has to lose half a mark because it's Australian. So there you go.
You give half a mark off for Aussie films.
Yeah, all Aussie films lose half a mark. So there you go.
No, stop. Why?
What? Because they're Australian films. And so they can't compete on production values.
That's
unfair.
Don't
care. No, so it gets a 9.
That's really unpatriotic of you.
I'm not a patriotic person. And you just threw that piece of meat on the ground just to see if I'd bite that. I'm at least the most unpatriotic person that you'll come across. So
9.5 stars from you?
No, 9.
9 stars from you?
Lost half a mark.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, if it was just on pure enjoyment, I'd go 10, right? But I don't do that. And I'm sure that there are parts of... I got swept away with it, and sometimes I'm caught in the afterglow of some of these films, and because it was Australian, because it was so powerful, I know I was engaging at it at a far... You've got to remember, it was hitting some big buttons for me. So, and I have to be wary of that, and that's why it goes down to 9.5 by sheer wariness, and then because it's Australian, that's a rule, and so it loses half a mark. So it's 9. Okay. Yep.
I'm going to give it 6. I found some of the aspects of the storyline weird.
Sure.
At the end of it, when she's burning...
I'll go down this tired old road. Fuck. What did you find weird about this one, Pip?
I found it weird when I felt like the movie should have been finishing when it still had 45 minutes to go.
Where was the pivot? Where was this point where you were looking at the watch
when
going,
he
what
died.
the fuck? Yeah, but something has to happen. I know there's a lull. There is a brief pause.
You're missing the point. For me, that felt like the resolution of the film.
Because a death is not a resolution. A death is a poignancy of unresolved issues that have to be tied up, which the rest of the film does. You don't have the hero die right at the end and just leave everybody, well, all right, just collect your tickets at the end there, kids. You don't do that to people. Maybe I would, perhaps, if I was making a film, but most people wouldn't.
I found her mood change too quickly. I found it weird that when she was burning down the town, there's a few characters that weren't accounted for. I found the storylines of some of them are slightly weird. And that's just me. So...
Okay. She had 30 years to brood.
No.
She had 30 years to brood. When he turns up...
30? How old do you think she was?
She's like nearly 50. Come on. I looked at her. I actually checked her age.
No, but she's not playing her age in the film, Paul.
Isn't she?
No, she's not.
I could say some very unkind things, but I'm just going to leave it there, shall I? Okay. He's 29, and the most generous thing I can say is she's not. Okay?
I thought it worked out
As
fine.
the Titanic is said, that ship has sailed well and fucking truly. I'm in fine form tonight, aren't I?
For me, the storyline didn't work out. I thought it... No,
You're wrong. You're just straight up wrong. I'm sorry. I'm going to slap you down here. She's had multiple years, let's just leave it at that, multiple years to brood and hate this town.
No, she didn't, because she didn't know what was happening. She had no idea why she'd left.
Oh,
she had no idea what had happened. She came back not knowing anything. She has not been brooding.
That's not true.
No, she has not been brooding at all. Because Teddy has that big scene with her where he goes, what actually happened? And his brother,
she remembers
Barry.
that old hunchback prick. She remembers him right off as soon as it's mentioned.
Yeah, but that's one thing. That's not what she's come back for. And the brother Barry's going, you moved.
She remembers
Tilly.
the relentless bullying that was on her.
You're missing the point.
I don't believe I am. She remembers. Look, when you're a child, you don't remember everything of your childhood. Maybe you do because you have an eidetic memory, but most people don't.
I do not. I wish I did.
Well, most people do not, okay? They get flashes of their most powerful images. And that's what they brood on. That's what they live off for the rest of their lives.
She came back going, I can't remember what happened. I don't know why I got sent away. So she hasn't been brooding.
Well,
all she's been doing is going, I had no idea what had happened.
Okay. Can I just say this? There were definitely questions. What you are saying is correct in that respect. However, the hate that she had for this town had festered and metastasised for many a decade.
Then why would she go back if she's a successful dressmaker?
Because she's successful and therefore she feels she's strong enough to go back. Don't give me
I didn't get that vibe.
Go and ask other people then. Go talk to your mother about this. That would be an interesting conversation to have. I think your mother would come in on my side and say...
I'm sure she would. But what...
Oh, people, if you only just saw that look, that was golden.
What I'm saying is, for me, it wasn't
paid for my admission fees tonight.
I felt that they could have gone down the track of revenge and that would have been fine, or they could have gone down the track of, I can't remember anything and I'd like to have this resolved. But they've tried to push all these two concepts together and mishmashed it, and to me, it didn't feel genuine.
All right. Just work with me here for a moment, okay? Number one, she was sent away.
Hang on, I'm just moving my microphone
All
while I
right.
chew.
Okay, you chew. Number one, she was sent away in disgrace, okay? Now, she would know that she was in disgrace. She was being rejected. Now, you probably have not had a lot of experience of being rejected.
I was loved.
That's right. So you do not understand what I'm talking about here. Okay, so rejection is probably one of the harshest things that bore down to a person's soul, and it can fuck them up seriously. So there's that, okay? No, let me get through it. What? Okay. We're not going to get to the second film tonight.
So you're saying basically if someone has a past that's similar to the character Myrtle Tilly Dunnage,
yes,
then they'll actually really enjoy this film because she gets a bit of a payback. Where if someone has...
I said this does have some big buttons.
Where if someone has had a wonderful childhood, been loved, they probably won't get the turnaround. Is that what you're saying?
When you're an adult, you get to be able to use this thing called empathy, in which you get your imagination to allow you to think about how other people might view the world.
I'm not saying it's me saying how much I enjoyed this film. It's not about empathy. The storytellers of this film have not given me, someone who hasn't experienced this, enough information to give empathy for this. If they had set it up properly, I would have had empathy for either her revenge or her not knowing why she's been sent away.
Because I have listened to these podcasts so many times, over such a long period of time, the amount of times that I've heard you say that the director has not given me enough information...
It's not made me feel it.
I don't think that it's necessarily the director's fault. I do not. I'm starting to think that maybe you may be a little bit tone deaf to this. I'm getting a shocked look. Am I right or not?
No, it's up to the people who are telling this story, the director, the writer, the actors, everybody, cinematographer, everyone is there telling a story to make you feel this. And if I'm not feeling
but you don't feel, Pip.
I bet it's not just me. I bet
You're
it's
not
only
human.
But people who have the past experience can bring all that with them.
All right, can I ask this?
And me.
Did you have an emotional reaction to this film at all?
Yes.
What? Tell me.
The first half where I went, oh, she's here because she can't remember because
Okay.
something awful's happened.
Right.
Yes. But then when they've flipped it, I've gone, well, why the hell is she now acting like this when before she was like this?
Oh,
So to me...
it's totally logical.
No, it's not. If the flip isn't clean and it's not brought out properly, people go, well, what the hell is going
I
on?
told you this would bring up a conversation, didn't I?
So what I'm saying, Paul,
Yes.
is that if they're not going to do it in a
Take
way
those
that brings...
dirty fat sausages out of my face.
is if they don't give you enough empathy story-wise for you to follow along with them, you're not going to go along. You're going to be lost. And then you're going to go, well, hang on, I have not understood why they've gone that way. It's up to them to make you want to go that way. And if they haven't made you want to go that way and you have no idea what's going on, then...
Are you done?
No.
I think most people would find that there's plenty of information there.
I mean, people with past history who can dwell on that.
People who generally, most people don't have a uniformly happy existence. Not all of them run through life amidst, sun showering down upon their unicorns and rainbows and lollipops and go through life and just walk around and go, everything's fine. Why is she behaving in this way? People get hurt. People get damaged. When people get when people get damaged, they do things for odd reasons. Now, we have come time and time again in these movies where you will look at, oh dear. All right, look, you know what? Fine. There's not enough information. Is that what you want to hear? Is that what you want to hear? Because I give up. I surrender. Seriously.
I'm glad you enjoyed the film.
Oh, God's sake. Guys, if you actually have a heart... Did you cry? No, of course you didn't.
No.
No. I blubbered.
No, I actually...
Multiple blubbers, right? Multiple blubbers.
No, I didn't cry.
Very heart-rending film.
No, I didn't cry. But then I don't tend to cry.
I cried when he died. I cried when she was washing the body. Very, very touching scenes. You're probably looking and going, oh, she doesn't give much of a shit. But
no, I got that she gave a shit. But
I'm glad about that.
But no, I was just...
The mother was distraught, and God, she ripped your heart out.
No, she did a very good job.
Did you cry?
No, I don't cry.
Oh, for fuck's sake. All right. No,
but
that's
what I'm
fine.
saying is the way the film went, I didn't enjoy it.
Okay.
It just didn't make sense to me.
That's fine. That's fine. No, well, I can't argue. I mean, look, if I continued arguing, it'd just be insulting. And I don't, I don't want to be insulting. I enjoy these podcasts for the simple fact that, and that sounds like it's insulting right there, but dig yourself out of this, Paul. You can do it. But look, these are films that aren't necessary. This is a girl's film. This is not a guy's film. And then I wonder why it's affecting me so.
Because you've got a past. Anyone who's got a past.
Maybe I've got a mangina.
Anyone who's got a past is going to take stuff with them onto this film.
Yeah, but it was not only that shithead. There was other things as well. No, there was lots. Look, I was laughing hysterically at the footy match. I thought that was horrendously funny.
That was hilarious, but that was in the first half of the film.
Yes, it was. And then it didn't, because it always takes a dark turn because it's Australian, because I'm expecting it now. I was buckled up for it this time. I was ready. So, because you look at the shithouse little town and you know it's a tragedy. Oh, no, I didn't.
I'm not arguing that point.
And it is a tragedy, but there's an element of triumphalism at the end. Look, I think this is superb. I think...
What happened to the old lady that was married to the guy with the hunchback?
I could have argued 10, but I was whittled down by my conservatism. Did I still say that? conservatism.
Go again. You can do it.
No, I think